names. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
There's your open.
Oh, man.
Ain't like that one.
Hey, let's go. Monday show, May 20th, 2024. Ermanni Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you are watching live. If you're watching on YouTube, part of the over 65,000 subscribers on this platform, we say good afternoon to you. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
This afternoon is a little bit better than most because today, time Maz away, Ryan Ermanni, is a special day. It is the, in fact, birthday of my dad, Stan Edwards. He turns the big 6'5" today. Without him, obviously, Pop's not being
Way to
so
go,
send
Pops.
some love.
Way to go,
Birthday,
Stan.
Pops.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Hey,
Come on, Stan.
Having a
Let's
good
go.
time. The Lions cheerleaders there. See,
Oh, yeah.
Stan's still smooth. Had a
Oh,
chance
it's
to spend some
great,
time with him
man.
and also, so golfing today is in our near future.
Stan
I
gets
love
younger
that.
by the years.
I know, right?
Yep.
But I'm also a little bit worried. Like, he looks amazing. Like, you see my Instagram pic today. He's got the white hair and it's all curled up and it's nice and lined up. But it's all white. I enjoy this jet
You'll get
black.
you'll get there.
I enjoy this jet black hair. I don't know how. I
Well,
feel
you
about
could
this,
always
Ryan.
dye it.
I'm not gonna dye it. I'm gonna be authentic.
I too
be
feel like I'll go the authentic route.
Like this?
See, man, that lets me know you're a real one. Like off top, it lets me know you're a real one. Remember that goatee?
I'm real. Yeah, man. I'm not Mad Maz.
Maz, how you
anymore.
doing today, buddy?
I tried that dye one time, and that was
dyed
it.
his
Oh,
beard.
dude, that was great. I remember that. You got killed for
I
that.
got killed.
Hey, Spencer
man.
destroyed
I never
him.
would have done it if it wasn't my wife and kids pushing me towards it.
They wanted you to do it,
They
huh?
wanted me to do it.
The funniest thing about it is he gave Blackbeard, a.k.a. Ryan Day, so much grief, and then he went and turned into Blackbeard.
Oh, that's
himself. Great times
fantastic.
here at Woodward Sports.
I love it, no doubt. Hey, just before we get into it a little bit, Braden, I want to talk about your camp too.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the great things about the summer is
Outside.
besides outside, just in this business, you get interns. You get summer interns, right? We're blessed to have intern Joel and of course intern James started today.
Shout out to Joe
And
James. J&J.
like there is things about your childhood that you realize you were a child. When you were a child, these interns were not born yet. They have no idea. We have no shared experience when it comes to our childhood.
Literally.
We were talking about Ken Calvert's name came up. I don't know how it came up, but Ken Calvert's name came up. And now I feel like all the young people who watch us are like, okay, who's Ken Calvert? Well, he
The late,
was
great Ken
the
Calvert.
late great Ken Calvert. He was the Pistons public address announcer before Mason. And he had, which I thought were great introductions. I mean, Mason took it to a whole nother level and became, a celebrity in and of his own right.
Very true.
But Ken Calvert, I was like, Joel, you've never heard Joe Dumars.
No.
And he looked at me like I was crazy. He had never heard such a thing before in his life.
Because he wasn't born.
Well, I heard about things that I wasn't
True.
born, like, I don't, I know Stan Edwards. My whole life I know Stan Edwards.
This is true.
I never saw him play.
Right.
You know what I mean? But my
True.
dad
I
told
did.
me about Stan Edwards. Even before anything to do with Braylon
Right.
Edwards, by the way.
Understood. He was a man.
But, like, I feel like, too, that is one of those intricacies, nuances that, you probably wouldn't understand.
I feel like our generation is different. I feel like when we grew up, it still wasn't a lot of things. There's so many things now that you're watching, you're learning, whether it's YouTube, different streaming. It's so much to keep the distraction. And they don't have time for
Right.
stories from the father or stories from their uncle about the past and what was what. We got a lot of those stories because we got a lot of time just sitting there chilling because there wasn't much else to
Right?
do.
That's a great.
So much for them to do.
That's a great
Yeah.
point. You're thinking, Maz, you'll appreciate this one too. You ask kids, and I say kids, anybody that's probably 25 or younger.
Yeah.
what's her favorite line from Major League? And they say,
What's that?
What's that?
Yep.
Major League.
They've never seen Major League.
Right.
That hurts my soul because we think that's the greatest baseball movie ever made.
Sports movie.
Next to Bad News Bears.
Right. Well, either way, but you get my point.
Of course I do.
Yeah,
if you bring up Bad News Bears, they don't know what Chico's bail bonds are. They don't know Buttermaker. They don't know Kelly Leach.
Right.
They don't know that.
Oh, man.
You know what? It
So
is what it
funny.
is, man. It is what it is. They'll never make a movie like that again, though.
No, they didn't.
Not allowed to.
They tried to make a remake with Billy Bob Thornton, and it just didn't hit the same as the original. But speaking of kids and baseball and outside in sports, Ryan, I had a chance to attend a camp this Sunday, actually yesterday. It was a vet life camp by my guy Josh Paris. Works with the community and different things, obviously stemming around veterans, but they get in the community with the kids. They do a lot of things with vets, but it was just good to see these kids ages from 8 to 13. Rob Sims was there as well. That's Josh actually in the background on the left, but it's just great to see kids outside, man. It's an integrated camp, so it's girls and guys, and they're just out there kicking and enjoying outside, not necessarily knowing exactly what we're talking about. Like even here, I'm doing addressing the camp type message. When you're talking to high school kids, I know how to talk to them. It's like
it's very
all right,
difficult to talk to kids.
What? These
Yes.
kids are like 8, 9 years old. I'm like, all right, let's have fun and make sure you remember to have fun and listen to your parents. But it was fun and it was good to see parents drop their kids off, get them outside for a couple hours. A beautiful day. Get them away from these video games. I think that was one thing I did say is like, less video games, more outside.
And what was the camp about?
It's just showing them the rules and showing them some drills, showing them some techniques.
Did you guys play? Did you play any football? Did you play two-hand touch? I mean, what is it, flag?
Some of the kids were too young, but we just came up with some things for them. But the high school kids, we did one-on-ones. So we kind of treated it like a little high school space 7-on-7 camps, and it was cool. Shout out to the Howell High School football team. They helped, and they gave their time for free, so it's good.
And part of these people have never seen you play, but I'm sure when they hear, oh, you played for the Jets, you were drafted by the Browns, like it's probably like a wide eye moment.
Funny thing is, connecting to kids, I know the things to say. Like Rob Sims, it was very easy when they introduced Rob because Rob played for the Lions.
Right.
So all the kids in love with the Lions right now. I was like, University of Michigan, I played at.
Right.
Just won a national championship. Oh, I love Michigan,
Right.
go blue. So you try to find a way to connect with them. For me, it's Michigan.
When you do try to connect with kids, and Maz, you're good at this too with being a coach.
Oh yeah.
I'm helping coach my kids' little league team, and some of the kids, they make an error and they'll cry, or they don't get a hit and they'll cry, and you try to explain to them. Talking to kids is a funny thing because you try to say, try to have these big life moments like, okay, kids.
Can't do it.
If you get out 7 of 10 times, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's something.
Like it's not even it's not even a remote thought that they could grasp.
They don't get that.
They have no idea what you're talking about. It goes so far over their heads, but you're trying to make a big point to them and nothing resonates. And you're just like, I cannot communicate.
It's so funny you said that. Like one of the drills we were just doing catching drills, like simple stuff. Run around the cone, turn around, come back, I throw you the ball. Well, one of the younger groups, I think they had a 7-year-old in there, threw him the ball the first time and he had it, he bobbled it, and he dropped it. Just like you said, he was about to break down on himself and break down and cry. I said, no. You can go again. Come on, it's your turn again. He's like, I can go again, and he went again. And obviously, we got him to catch a pass. But to your point, I was like, no, it's not the end of the world. Just go again.
Right.
We got you the second time. So you're absolutely right. You got to find that way to, hey, it's okay.
I like when kids, you ask them how in baseball or softball, how many hits did you get? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I got 2 hits. But all they meant was they made contact twice. They're not actually base hits. They're hits. I'm like, that's awesome. That's great.
I hit the ball.
Like Luke. Luke, make contact.
Like my guy.
What's going on with Lukey?
Oh, my little guy has not gotten a hit all season.
Okay.
We're working on it.
Not gotten a safe hit, but he's gotten hits.
But he has made contact. He's put the ball in play twice in 7 games. And it is the biggest thing in the world. It is the coolest thing in the world. My kid makes contact with the ball. Oh, man, last game, he half a step. Yep. I mean, it was a half a step that got him.
You got to teach him to run through the bag so he runs
half
fast.
a step got him. But the whole dugout, because, my kid's not the greatest athlete in the world, but at this age, too, it's all about team.
Yeah.
The whole team comes out, gives him a hug. Because he put the ball in play. If that doesn't touch your heartstrings, man, it's like amazing. It's so cool. So,
how many games does he have this week?
We got 3 this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely breaking out.
Yeah, we're breaking out.
When's the next game?
To Tuesday. I think we go Tuesday, Thursday.
All right.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday. Maybe it's Memorial Weekend, so I don't. Definitely tomorrow. I know that.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Come on, baby.
I'm coming.
Come on, let's go. Big
I'm going
day.
to try to open the pool tonight.
Oh.
If I'm successful in opening the pool, I will be there tomorrow.
I love it. It. We'll get a hit tomorrow.
Ooh,
hell yeah, you will. Who are they playing tomorrow?
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. I'll
the
tell you
Apples?
right now. Nope. We got the Marauders tomorrow.
The Marauders. What a battle. What a battle.
Marauders.
We got the Marauders tomorrow.
And Luke's team's name is what?
The Tin Caps.
The Tin Caps.
Well, actually, we're the best team in the league, so the Tin Caps got to be minus 450 tomorrow.
Easy. But I
we're
want Luke's.
We're 7-0.
We want to bet on Luke. What's Luke's numbers?
Oh, Luke? I mean, Luke's got to be plus 350 to get a hit.
I'm betting it. I'm betting it.
We're not doing betting lines on
Oh, my God.
We're going to bet a parlay with Luke and little Joey up the street.
I want Luke with a hit and a win for your team.
I'm on DraftKings as we speak.
See if you can get a number on it.
Plus 1,100.
Right, guys. A couple of big basketball games yesterday. Let's start with the night game. We'll work backwards.
Thank you.
Because I'm not sure. I don't know, but I would venture to say that anybody that said, okay, Denver, world champs, home, game 7, thought they would win the game.
Yeah.
And
especially when they were up 20.
I guarantee you, when they were up by 20 points, I turned it off, actually. I don't know what I switched. Oh, I switched to the NASCAR race. The All-Stars last night.
I was watching American Idol.
Nice fight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a good fight.
Nice fight.
They announced the winner last night on American Idol. I'm very disappointed.
Oh,
Jack
really?
Blocker should have won, but Abby won.
Oh, man.
I'm
Damn. I stopped watching it when it left Fox.
And girlfriend life. Girlfriend life.
But so I kind of turned it off a little bit. And then I looked at my phone. It was 67-66. I was like, what? What in the world? So then I watched the end, and let me tell you, I don't know if that was more about, well, I do know, that was more about Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns than it was about the Denver Nuggets and Nikola Jokic. To me, you are seeing just a next-level superstar budding in the NBA.
Before we get into the actual nuts and bolts of the game, before we get into the X's and O's and talk about Karl Anthony Towns and talk about what Anthony Edwards was able to do, even when not scoring, he's able to affect the game in terms of his attitude and intensity on defense. Can we stop trying to crown teams? And we're all guilty of it. I crowned the Denver Nuggets. I said they'd be back-to-back winners. Remember when we came in here, as soon as they had won, we said they're probably going to win again next year. We have to stop crowning these dynasties before we really take into intake what that team can be. We have to put more emphasis on what Steph Curry and those Warrior teams were able to do, what Jordan's teams were able to do, what the Lakers were able to do. Because it is hard winning back-to-back. Look at Giannis. When
San
Giannis
Antonio never did. They won 5
100%.
championships,
Hey,
never
guys,
won back-to-back.
This is the 6th straight year.
Sixth
Gee, you
straight
can put
year.
the stat up. 6th straight year, there'll be a new champion.
Yep.
We thought
And I like that.
I like it too, but when Giannis won, what did we say? Oh, the Bucks have arrived. Giannis has arrived. It's his NBA. Same thing for Jokic. Same thing for whoever's going to win. We got to stop doing that. The NBA, you never know. It's going to be a new guy every year. But looking at the game last night, you just see the intensity of Anthony Edwards. You just see it. They took the soul out of the Denver Nuggets. They had more intensity. They got more loose ball fouls. They got more loose rebounds. You just see the energy in this team, and you like, this team made this other team can particularly quit on their own home court. You didn't get any help for Jokic last night. It says a lot about who they are, even before you get into the numbers.
This is still a players' league, right? Yeah. And you can have the best player in the world, which many people believe Jokic is the best player in the world still, and he probably is. But he can't do it by himself.
Nah.
He's got zero help. I mean, Jamal Murray is I mean, I don't even know what to say, but you want to talk about a guy
Very
that just kind of went by the wayside. Jamal Murray played terribly this entire. Do you know Jokic has never played?
He had 35 last night.
He beat the Lakers, though.
Jokic has never played with an All-Star in his entire career. When you think of great players in the history of the NBA, there is not only an All-Star, but there is a top 50, top 75 guy
attached to him.
Jokic hasn't even played with a guy that's been in the All-Star game.
Wow, I didn't know that. You hear what he said after the game? They're built to beat us. They've got 2 All-Stars. They got 2 all-defensive guys, and they got Mike Conley. And he's like, Mike Conley, I love Mike Conley. He said he is the most underrated player in the league.
Although I agree with him,
I do love Mike Conley.
Mike Conley at the time was definitely the most underrated. Not necessarily now, but still underrated. I didn't like that comment, man. And the reason why I didn't like the comment is it seemed like he was sitting at that podium making excuses.
Right.
They had 2 All-Stars. They got the defensive player of the year. You were destroying.
He basically said what he just said. That he got no one to play with.
100%, I understand. But you don't say that at the podium now.
Is that how you heard it?
Yeah, because this is the same exact team they had last year, and I don't think that he was saying that at the podium last year. He wasn't talking about not having 2 All-Stars. Right. He wasn't talking about not having the defensive player of the year.
I don't think he said that.
But that's exactly what he said at the podium.
Really?
He talked about what they had on their team.
I thought he was just being very complimentary of them and how they were built.
He is. He was being complimentary.
Yeah.
But what you said, he's basically saying in another way.
It's true, but
we don't have what that team has.
If LeBron would have said that comment, everybody would have tore that comment to shreds.
Well, yeah, but LeBron's, LeBron is talked about in a different realm too.
True.
I mean, you talk about LeBron as one of the top 2 or 3 players in the history of the game.
Right.
You know, if LeBron blew a 20-point lead in Game 7 too, what would you say about that? You know, I mean,
I agree. Let me put you in the same spot. Let's say you're Nikola Jokic. Would you say these same things? Because they're basically saying that we need better players. We need a different change to our roster in so many words.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to tweak it. I don't think Denver's done. I look at Denver, and I think they could have a run like San Antonio with a few tweaks.
Okay.
You know, San Antonio never won. They won 5 championships and never won back-to-back. You know, I mean, so you think about dynasties, and no, you're not going to make a team a dynasty after 1 championship, but Denver's young enough. They could make some noise still over the course. And the Western Conference is where it's all at right now.
Yeah. I
really like Denver. I think Denver with a few tweaks really has a chance to do something. Before we talk about Anthony Edwards aside, I think you look at the NBA too, and I saw this with the Knicks and the Pacers, and we can get into that too. The NBA completely changed the way they have officiated basketball games. From all year, from probably the first 75% of the season schedule to the next 25% and into the playoffs, you see guys getting mugged out there all game long, and you don't call it. So if your team is built in a certain way to play a finesse offensive style of basketball, which is the direction of the league, imagine this happening in the NFL, where every team now is offense, 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 because that is how the rules of the game are legislated. You make your team offensive driven, and then all of a sudden, with a month to go in the season, the NFL says, you know what, officials, you let them play defense. You just let them get up there. You let them. And if your team isn't built like that, you're done, man.
Can I ask you a question just based off what you just said? Because something just popped to my head. The NBA is all about new time wins. They're all about storylines. We know what the NBA is. You've heard it from crooked reps, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You need to get somebody over the hump. You need to get a team over the hump. You create a rule like this. Who does this most favorably play to? If we were just breaking down who should be in the finals when that happened, it's the Boston Celtics. It's the Boston Celtics. They play a much more physical style of basketball than the Denver Nuggets do. If this is a move you made, maybe they're trying to get Boston Celtics that most elusive ring that's eluded them the last 6 years. I could see something like that.
Yeah, maybe. It just feels like,
conspiracy theories.
Well, it feels like the officials have more power now than ever before because you're still calling the foul at the end of the game. You're just not calling it during the game.
Trying to keep it close.
And then, watching the Knicks, the officiating is terrible in the NBA. I was watching the Knicks Pacers yesterday.
I watched a few minutes.
I think this was in the first quarter. Maybe it was in the first quarter or second quarter. But it was a foul. Somebody went up for a shot. Indiana got the ball first and then the arm. Rick Carlisle challenges it. It was the same exact play that happened less than 12 hours earlier when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, at the end of the game, gets all ball first and then gets the arm. That play was challenged, and that foul was held up. In the same exact play in the Pacers game, that play was challenged, and that play was waved off. The foul was waved off. And you're like,
who was the home team?
The Knicks.
And who was the home team the night before?
Well, no, the Knicks got the foul called against them.
Oh, okay.
So Indiana got it.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, when you have the same exact rule being manipulated two different ways, it's like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
It's so silly.
It happens in football, too. Happens in football. Happens in every sport. Every sport has got the officiating. It's not straight out. How about the strike zone?
Yeah.
Each guy's got his own strike zone.
Yeah, that strike zone thing is wild. I think I sent something to the chat, and if not, I definitely saw what you saw. It's ridiculous. I asked this question, though. Was it always this bad? Hear me out. Was it always this bad, or are we now thinking it's bad because now sports betting exists? So now we're ultimately thinking everything
100%.
has to. So are we fine lining, watching a little bit more, maybe?
100% because
we're blaming it on it.
Well,
it contributes to the bet.
I got you. That's true.
Every play matters.
You're not lying.
And now, especially with the end of the game, like in Dallas and OKC.
What a game, by the way.
Wow. It was an incredible game. But that game, the outcome was affected by the officials and by the replay. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got all ball, and they called it a foul.
And
they looked at it, go to the command center, and they still confirmed the foul call. And you're like, what game am I watching here?
I got a perfect comparison. Remember the national championship, Michigan versus Louisville? Trey Burke gets all ball on Siva, and they called the foul.
It's horrific.
All ball at the rim. I'm obviously clear of PTSD.
Of course.
Still thinking about that.
That Dallas game was one of the best finishes, best fourth quarters.
Yeah.
The crowd was like Madison Square Garden. It was a nighttime game. I was at a bar at the time. Maybe it made it more exciting. But the crowd was into it. You see Mark Cuban, and it made me think about our guys here, our Pistons. And you got Mark Cuban there rooting for his team every single game, like we had Bill Davidson back in the day. And it pissed me off even more thinking about the situation our Pistons are in. And we're just throwing an anchor in the middle of an ocean and just sink to the bottom. That game, and I don't mean to digress.
No, you're fine.
I got pissed off how great it could have been.
Deserving.
And how we have it here in Detroit. And then it reminded me of, how did we get the fifth pick again? It drove me insane.
So I want to address, IT Hips says that was a foul, Ryan. You're wrong. SGA even said it was a foul. Here's where you're getting it wrong, I think. The same exact play happens the next day in the Knicks Pacers. And they go into a soliloquy on if you hit the ball first, it doesn't matter what you hit after that.
Right.
Like they explain the rule. They break down the rule in the game. So by that definition, which they took 2 minutes to describe.
You're correct.
I'm right. Whatever SGA said the night before is completely
irrelevant.
Void. It's irrelevant. I mean, because they break this down during the Pacers-Knicks game, and it's just like, at least be consistent.
It's the rule, the way it reads.
Right. Either
ball,
it's a foul,
no foul,
or it's not a foul. You hit the ball first and then arm, no foul. Well, if that's the case, you've got to call it the same way both times. I don't know. It's just the NBA is just it's such a roller coaster. But yeah, man, couple of game sevens, couple of stinkers too.
You know what, guys? I'll tell you. I just realized last night after that game that we're down to the final four in each sport.
Yeah.
And every night I've been locked and loaded on all the playoff games. And I'm like, last night I'm like, wow, there's no hockey? Now tonight there's one hockey game, but there's no basketball.
Well, it's a game 7.
Right. I'm just saying. it's coming down to the end again.
I know.
Once we lose the playoffs, guess what? We've got nothing to look forward to except going through the baseball
Lions
season
Right.
and Lions
OTA.
practice.
Well,
That's what we're coming down to, guys.
I think
Enjoy these games.
I think about that too a lot because, you know, I kind of relate that to the Tigers and not being able to watch the Tigers. Tigers are on Fox Sports 1 tonight, by the way, so you can watch the Tigers.
It took 2 out of 3.
Tonight. Yeah, absolutely. But the playoffs, both NBA and NHL, has allowed me to not miss the Tigers.
Yeah, this is 100%.
You know what I mean? Because you have something to watch every night.
They've been good. And they've been extremely good. You know what it reminds me of? The first year that we did the show, we started August 12th, 2021. And you're just rolling, it's rocking and rolling, man. It's football season. You know, you were talking about that. We're talking about Michigan. You're talking about basketball once football is over with. You're talking about, you know, NBA finals. You're talking about NHL. And then it was over. And then I came in here in April. I mean, not April, but like June. We didn't have anything to talk about. And the Lions weren't good. We're trying to figure it out. Yeah, that was an interesting summer in terms of being in this business.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No
That's
doubt.
when you break movies down.
That's when you 100%. That's when you also realize that your team and the Detroit Tigers were horrible. That's when it set in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we'll get into the Tigers in a little bit, but these playoffs, I think both sets overall of NBA and NHL playoffs have been great. You know, with basketball too, I was really hoping the Knicks were going to beat the Pacers, and we'll get into this in just a little bit too. That atmosphere in New York is second to none, and ESPN was getting killed, by the way. And I
deservedly so.
So ESPN's getting killed because of the way they approach Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, they show Jalen Brunson walking in. They show Tyrese Halliburton walking in. They show Stephen A. Smith walking into the building. Now, I thought it was funny. If I lived in Indiana, I probably wouldn't think it was funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
That's not funny.
It's all entertainment.
I know.
It's all entertainment.
I don't think it's that big a deal. Like you said, it's entertainment.
Getting killed because you are, as the broadcast partner for the league, in an Eastern Conference semifinal Game 7, supposed to give the appearance that you're covering it
Down the
fairly.
How about that?
You know?
Mike Breen is doing the game.
I thought
he's the Knicks announcer.
And even like
true.
him, like he's the Knicks announcer, and like even him, Tyrese Halliburton, like
It was trash.
it was wild.
And then, of course, in Minnesota, Kevin Harlan was the longtime Timberwolves.
First one.
And he's got his, number in the rafters, his name up in the rafters.
Right.
So, he was extra happy that the T-Wolves won.
Oh, 100%.
The Timbers, he called them a few times. I'm like, oh.
Sometimes those homers are analysts, though. Remember the infamous game they always talk about, Michigan State?
Mike Tirico
Got in trouble. They say he was favoring Michigan too much in that game. He was like, he took it away.
Well, you're making all the big plays. Michigan was making all the big plays.
That's awesome.
He called flag.
Anthony Edwards, guys, he's being called the next Michael Jordan, the face of the league. Does that bother you? Is that too much too soon? What do you make of the Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan comparison? I've got my thoughts and yours as well. We'll get into the Knicks as well. All that and more coming up next. But first, a message from Swiss.
That's right, everybody. Now more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in those extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today at 313-530-1698 or visit SwissINS.com. Over to Bray.
Keep telling you this. I don't know when you're going to listen. Planet Fitness is the place you need to be at only $10 a month. You can get in the type of shape. It's going to look good this summer. Your fitness is essential, and they understand that. So pay attention to the squeaky clean gym that you will be allowed to shower in after you work out. And also, if you want to get in shape but don't have a plan, don't worry. They got you covered. They have trainers and a total body workout. 30 minutes right in the middle of the gym. They got everything you need. All you got to do is show up. Planet Fitness.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding the Les Stanford Buick GMC brands at dealership. Those two dealerships located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for over 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. All 4 GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
You can drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. You can walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys, Anthony Edwards. People are talking about him as if he is the new face of the league. He is 22 years old. People say he is very reminiscent. He reminds them of Michael Jordan. Too much, too soon? What do you make of it?
No, look, you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think it's too much too soon. I think when people think about the comparison, whenever you're comparing somebody, people ultimately, always, they go to the best version of what that person was. They go to the best version of what that person was. So when you instantly say, hey, is Anthony Edwards like Michael Jordan? Oh, he's got 6 rings. He did 2 3-peats. He did this. He did that. Defensive player, MVP, same year. Yeah, he did that down the line. When Michael Jordan came in the league, he was 84. So you're really comparing this Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan 88.
I totally agree
Michael
with you,
Jordan
Braylon.
89 when the Celtics still ran the league. The Lakers still ran the league. Jordan was trying to crack the code, trying to figure it out. Otherwise, you look at his stats, he's averaged 25.9. He averaged 24.9 the year before that. He averaged 22 the year before that. Rookie of the year, runner-up, all-star twice. Yeah.
Movie star.
And also, if we want to be honest, that was a good movie because now it looks real, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Him whispering in the guy.
He's a badass.
Same thing he did. And if you want to be completely honest, Jordan didn't get out of the first round of the playoffs. Anthony Edwards is in the Western Conference Finals by 22 years old.
I heard Rick Bucher say something about this today. He said, enough with this Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan comparison. Jordan was Defensive Player of the Year and this, that, and the other thing. And not at 22.
Not at 22.
You know, I mean, and I think we do, as Americans, want the face of the league of the National Basketball Association
To be Mike.
to be an American.
Yeah.
Maybe. You know what I mean? I don't think that's I don't think it's something that you could it be Jokic? Could it be Luka? Find me one of these guys.
Giannis?
I'll find you a problem. Giannis is too quiet. Luka is too big of a crybaby. Jokic is not exciting.
He's also not engaging. As soon as the season's over, he's gone.
Anthony Edwards is everything you could possibly want in a superstar. And by the way, you know who he's not either? He's not LeBron James. LeBron James, people hated LeBron James at 18. People hate LeBron James now. This kid, there's nobody that hates it, unless you're from Denver. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
This is
nobody hates Anthony Edwards. People love this guy. You want a superstar to be, sure, hated a little bit, because without that hate, without a little bit of a villain, you can't be, I don't think, up here with it. We hated Jordan here in Detroit. You know what I mean?
That was the only place, though.
That was the only place.
Yeah.
Well, and then ultimately New York and Indiana and
They loved him in New York.
Yeah,
realistically.
well,
No, he didn't.
Speak for yourself,
Yeah,
man.
right.
But you know why though? And Jordan like too. He smile.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds so simple, sounds so stupid. Anthony Edwards smiles. He shows his teeth all the time. People eat that up. Like, it's American to smile. Like 100%, they eat that thing up. But like talking about,
he's got a personality that is just so dynamic.
He does. Like,
He says what's on his mind,
Yeah.
too.
And that's a good thing. I was going to ask. I'm glad you brought that up.
You hear the
With
post game?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting to. Do you
dig it.
like it that the players get to say whatever they want
Yes.
now? I
Oh,
like
yeah.
it too because it's authentic.
Yes.
I love it.
How
A lot
about
of people
Carl-
have problems with. I'm like, I saw it today. It was like, are they going to become professional again and not swear at the microphone? I'm like, this is authentic. Don't you want to hear the truth?
How about Carl Anthony Towns? How much losing we got to do? We've been losing for 20 years. You know,
He's
because they were
talking about
telling
somebody that's happy.
I think the question to him was about like losing and facing adversity. You get to a certain point, and then you lose, and like the Pistons. They lost to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. They get to the finals. They lost to the Lakers in the finals, and then they ultimately won. Carl Anthony Towns is like, we've been losing for 20 years.
He's like,
Well, he mentioned, like, I think 8 years.
Nine.
He said the first 9 years, and then Anthony's like, F those 9 years or whatever like that.
and then Carl Anthony Towns turns around and say, "You're
Yeah,
right."
he's
F
like,
that.
you're right.
Yeah, so-
Right. You
I mean, if you don't want people to be
fun.
authentic, then like, go get out of here.
I hope they win it all.
wish you could do that in the
I
NFL.
hope they win it all.
Yeah. No, I think that would be good for the NFL. And go ahead, Bray. You got.
You said you think you want them to win it
Oh,
all.
I
God,
want
yes.
Minnesota to
You
win
want
it all,
Minnesota to
too.
win all too.
Yes.
You know what's going to be interesting about these finals? 4 teams, you're going to get 4 new champions. Is it Luka? Is it Tatum? Is it Anthony Edwards? Or is it Halliburton? You got 4 new champions, 4 new faces of the league. It's going to be interesting. Is this more pressure now for Jason Tatum? Because he's the elder statesman.
He's got it laid
of these
out for him
playoffs.
this
Right.
time.
If he can't win this
Right.
one,
They got it laid out. There's no juggernaut in this field.
if they can't win this with Ryan Hermanni, like Jason Tatum, like stop putting that tag on him because he's not that guy.
You know what I see by having the Mavericks and the Timberwolves and the Pacers and the Celtics?
Small
Celtics,
markets.
okay. Well, that, but it feels like the NBA is now at least moving in the direction of the NFL. In the NFL, you don't have to be from New York or LA or Chicago or Philadelphia to win. You can win in Green Bay.
Kansas City.
You can win in Kansas City. The NBA has felt like
Denver.
unless you were a big city or
Seattle,
a warm
yeah.
weather destination, you couldn't win. It was like impossible. Like it was amazing when the Pistons broke through or when San Antonio broke through.
Cavaliers. I know they had LeBron, but hell, man. Cleveland?
Yeah, when they broke through, sure, but
Yeah.
you know, these big city markets and warm weather destinations have dominated the NBA for 40 years.
It did feel like that.
Essentially,
When
you know what I mean?
Whenever you see like the Pacers, like take a shot, Pacers get close. So here come the big bad Chicago Bulls, or even like it's always right there the Pistons who had them in there. That is interesting. You look at it, it's like, oh, here comes such and such. Gets knocked down by a bigger market team, whether it's the LA, Chicago.
And even in baseball, right? I mean, look at you've got the Dodgers now and the Yankees and the Mets and the Phillies and you know, Atlanta even. Atlanta's got a lot of money. Atlanta's a big market. Atlanta's a warm weather city. It feels like
the Rangers.
the NBA, baseball have been in line together for so long where you've got to be like
Yankees.
yeah, you know, and now it would be nice if the NBA, like a Milwaukee, you could keep your star in Milwaukee. could Indiana ultimately keep Tyrese Halliburton in Indiana? More importantly, can Minnesota keep Anthony Edwards?
They can, because A-Rod is going to be their owner.
Yeah, he's
they got some money now they're putting into that. Man, he saw something. Him and his partner saw something. I'm like, why does he want to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Well, why wouldn't you?
It's instant cash.
It's instant cash, whether you have Anthony Edwards or not. Look at our owner here, who bought the Pistons for $300 million, $325 million. Now they're worth $3.2 billion.
Wow!
If you can get into professional sports, you get into professional sports.
You get into the money bag.
Maz, let me come to you first with this. The Knicks. That was.
I hated that it was a 3 o'clock start.
Why?
Hated it.
Why?
I wanted it to be the primetime game last night, and
it wasn't worthy of primetime.
It wasn't worthy, but it was a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Who wants to watch Game 7 at 3 o'clock?
I actually thought it was great. That reminded me of like NBA on NBC back in the day with Michael Jordan walking into Chicago Stadium. I mean, there's nothing better than that.
Anyway, they ran out of players. Ultimately, they ran out of gas. And Indiana played better at the end. And I knew the first quarter, it's over. Even before they were up 15 in the first quarter, the way they started, I said to my buddy who was watching the game with me, I'm like, I'll be heading outside here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then they got up by 15, 18, knocked it down to 15 at the half, and I wrote a little something on Twitter. Hey, Knicks, thanks for a fun season. Spirit of 73 still lives. I went outside, checked the phone like you did with the Timberwolves. I saw the Knicks were making a little bit of a run. They get within 6 in the third quarter, and then they run off 14 straight points for the Pacers.
Yeah.
So I shut it off.
The way I looked at it in a funny sense is the Indiana Pacers, they finally looked in the mirror and was like, are we really about to lose to this team of ragtag muffins? Are we really about to lose to this team that the whole roster, except for one person that's healthy, is under 6'4"? Like, come on, let's step it up. But in all honesty, like Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers, they put on the best shooting performance
ever
in NBA playoff history. They shot 67% from the field. Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, what can you say about him from the D ball? He got that established earlier. I think they talked about, I can't remember on which show, maybe Colin Cowherd talked about. But if you look at the bench players, if you look at the role players next to Tyrese Halliburton, they were 8 for 8 was Neesmith. 8 for 10 was Miles Turner.
At one point, Ray, they were 76% from the field at one point.
Like, this is what you ask your role players to do. This is what you ask the next guys up to do, is show up on the road. Like, it's going to be tough to win. Show up on the road. Like, they showed up and they showed out, man. That's how you shoot like that. I mean, hats off to everybody. And TJ McConnell, like, he's a dog. He's 5 foot 10 inches. Like, and he goes out there and he plays. He might be one of the best players on that team. For 5 foot 10, that boy was playing.
I think it was such a great playoff watch without having a dog in the fight, to see the Garden in round 1 and round 2, and to see how cool it was with all their alumni back and all the stars in the seats. I thought it was a really great thing for basketball.
Phil Jackson even showed.
Yeah, I thought it was a really great thing for basketball, and it just shows. I think you speak to, I think the Lions do this a lot. You speak to the league. You speak to other players in the league without directly speaking to them. I think the Madison Square Garden crowd and everybody in New York was speaking to the rest of the NBA.
Come play here.
Yes. If you are
about time.
If you are a free agent, if you have any sort of anything about you, you want to go play in New York. You want to be a part of that atmosphere. Could you imagine being part of the team that wins a championship in New York? There'll be nothing like it in the history of the NBA. The first time the Knicks win a championship. Ooh. And that team is set up with Brunson and Hart and DiVincenzo. And whether you or not they exercise the 4-year, $181 million contract on Julius Randle or not, you got to attract somebody. I don't know. Now, the Suns said they're not going to trade any of the big three.
Money talks and BS walks.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens, but it's an amazing show from that building and that team this year. I'm disappointed it's over. I would like to see them play the Celtics.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to see like Spike Lee happy after NBA playoffs. Like I finally saw him win the Oscar maybe 2-3 years ago, and he had a great speech. Like I'm not necessarily a Nick guy, but I want to see Spike get it. He's been there. I've seen him miserable. We've seen him miserable now since 1990. Like it'd be good to see him with a smile on his face in June.
Yeah.
I'm older than him. I'm more miserable.
I've just seen him in Nick stuff for my whole life.
I never understood for the life of me why LeBron James would never have gone to the Knicks in his career. Never in my life would I ever imagine why he wouldn't want to go put on the cape and bring that franchise a championship. Like I said, 1973, man.
Maz, easy, because he would have had to go and put on the cape. When you go to Miami, who was the star in Miami? Oh, it's D-Wade. Now you go down there and play with a star. You don't have to take the pressure of running the team. You just go out there and do LeBron stuff. He's never wanted to go and do it his own way. He tried it. It didn't work in Cleveland the first time. He goes back to Cleveland. They got Kyrie Irving. Helps him out as well. He didn't go to New York because there wasn't anybody there that was a bass player for him to really work with. Him and Carmelo, stop it.
Far be it from me to defend LeBron James, but I'm going to defend LeBron James for a moment. This Knicks team was not any Knicks team that he could have ever chosen from in the past.
Right.
Salary cap hell, no talent, no seeming way out of an abyss of a franchise that they were in. No really second star to ever consider. LeBron James, when he was a free agent, even when he wasn't a free agent, at no point in LeBron James's career were the New York Knicks ever as set up, even remotely close to being a contender that he could have gone to.
Yeah, you're right.
I will also say that I will add this little bit. Everything you said is 100% correct. You can't fail in New York. Like, this is a calculated move, man. It's like, cause you got to think about it. At the time, Bron hadn't won any championships. He's looking for that legacy, a legacy that he can compare to Michael and events maybe eclipse. You can't fail in New York. Like, if you go to New York and fail, like, legacy's over. There's no King James. There's no this. There's a basketball player that had a lot of talent, but he came up short. You couldn't fail in New York.
No.
Miami A failed. You can try again.
Okay, what do they need now to put him over the top?
They need a big man. They need a Julius Randle type play. Pascal Siakam just could do whatever he wanted. Now, if Anunoby could have played.
They need a true star. Like,
Jalen
Brunson's a true star. Now you got to get another star. Remember what Jokic just said? He said you got to have two All-Stars. You don't have anybody in All-Star right now. Julius Randle, you can't depend on the playoffs. Josh Hart's not an All-Star. DiVincenzo's not an All-Star. They're really good role players in an All-Star. You need a bona fide star.
You need a guy you need like a Zion Williamson type player too.
Could Bogdanovich have helped them had he not been injured?
No, I don't think so. Just because
Alec Burks had a good game.
You need one game though. He did, and I was happy for him. You need a guy that's 6'10" that could defend and shoot the three.
KD, but like you said,
but KD ain't defending anybody.
True.
You need like a Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson will put this team over, I think. A healthy Zion
Depends what they have to give up for him.
You got to shut down his DoorDash account.
I think Julius Randle could help this team a lot. Julius Randle is a damn good player, but he's just never healthy.
Yeah.
It was a great run, man. It was fun.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
It was fun.
What do you think the league wants to see in the finals? Minnesota, Boston, obviously. Or do you think they want Dallas? Dallas is a much bigger market. With with Luka, who puts the world on that. You know what I mean? Kyrie,
Anthony Edwards beating Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, right. That's because we just talk about all the time the face of the league, the commercials, what they're setting up. Like he's here, he's arrived. Like whether people want to understand it or not, they gotta have their guy, the guy that could be the potential face. And Anthony Edwards gotta have him in the finals because to say, Western Conference Finals, but to say finals appearance, whether they win or lose, takes that brand to the next level.
So who do you have in the who do you have coming out of the East and how many games?
Boston in 5.
Boston, yeah.
And I would say 4, but they always give a game away somewhere.
Boston in 6 only because they're gonna do something dumb. Boston is a dumb playoff team. Like they're much better than this team. Like Ryan said, they'll give up 2, but 4-2, so 6.
I'll go 5 as well. And how about Minnesota and Dallas? Minnesota's home.
I think it's a 7-game series. I think that's going to be one hell of a series. And don't underestimate what Kyrie Irving is going to be able to do against Anthony Edwards. Kyrie Irving has been playing maybe the best basketball of his career, and remarkably so.
Yeah, you got it's going to be an interesting one. I think 6. I think you give it to the Minnesota Timberwolves. I just think they're too physical. They're type of basketball. You talk all the time with Luka. He's a big cry baby. That's not going to work against this Timberwolves team. So 6-2. In 6, 4-2.
I'll go, 6 or 7 myself. But looking into the future, man, Oklahoma City they're no joke. They're definitely on the upswing, that team. And I loved how Chet Holmgren played.
Yeah, I really like it. Boy, was I wrong
happy
about
for
that
him.
guy.
I was happy for him.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm just happy for that kid.
Yeah, this is why, when we were talking about could the Lakers potentially beat OKC, I said, OKC's team a little bit better than you guys think, man. Go ahead and give them a look and see what they are. And they definitely didn't surprise. They definitely are right there. Chet, this is his first full season, right?
Yeah, it's a rookie year.
So he'll get better next year. J-Dub is another guy. It's very symbolic with very remembrance of that OKC team when Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook were young guys.
Yeah, I really like them. Hey, before we get to the Lions at the top of the hour, I got to ask you, Maz, about the ponies.
Yeah.
What happened at the Preakness?
Hey, terrific race. Caesar Gray, congrats to him. Went off at 9-1. He was like 5th, 6th choice out of 8 horses. And the old man, the old cowboy, 88-year-old Dwayne Lucas was the trainer. And he had another runner in there that did some damage to other horses. And he beat the field. And Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner, had dead aim at him and could not pass him. He got 2nd, Chasing Freedom 3rd. I had the 2, 3, 4 again. Couldn't get the winner. My buddies Mike Allway and Tim Kaine, they had him. I didn't go with them. We usually all get together and put our bets in together. And I told them, look, I'm not going to spend a lot of money today. I'm busy. I was working at the dealership, blah, 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 blah. So they put their bets in. If I got with them, I would have had the trifecta because I would have had the superfecta, which is the first 4 horses.
How much does that pay?
Pete, what did that thing pay? Like $500? Yeah, $500 for the first 4. And you only picking 4 out of 8 horses. I mean, and I missed the winner. But he's well deserving. Caesar Gray, man, he could win the Belmont again in 3 weeks. Look at that. It was fun. It was a fun race.
Man, I don't know.
Did you have the winner?
No, I didn't have the winner.
I bet on Mystic Dan.
I picked Imagination.
Imagination, yeah. Bob Baffert's
I liked
horse.
Imagination just because I don't pick the horse, I pick the trainer.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize Dwayne Lucas was in the race.
With 2 horses?
Yeah, I didn't.
Right.
I didn't.
But the mud killed everything.
Yeah, I just
the mud changed the whole field.
I saw Bob Baffert, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm rooting for his horse.
I know. That wasn't even his best horse. His best horse got scratched.
Yeah,
moved.
Muff.
So
is there a sport that is dominated by 2 men more than Dwayne Lucas and Bob Baffert have dominated horse race?
They've done a great job. There's other trainers now, but those 2 guys, they were the kings.
Who's the most popular trainer other than that guy?
Chad Brown.
Yeah. No, you
Never heard
got
of
the
him.
top 2. No doubt.
Never heard of
The
him.
Cowboy.
You like the ponies, Bray?
I do. I enjoy it. I thought this, Mystic Dan was going to win again. I looked at the field, like Matt said. I mean, it was only 9 or 1 scratch, so you had 8 running.
Horses.
I said Mystic Dan's got a good chance to win. Didn't bet on it, and glad I didn't. But I'm always liking the upset wins, and so it's another upset story.
It was fun. And Mike Tirico, man, I wanted to text him during the show. He's superb. He's superb.
Yeah.
No matter what sport he does, he owns it.
What makes you say that? What was he doing? The pregame or something?
Yeah, he does all of it, the whole show.
Anything NBC, you'll see Mike Tirico.
He's just it. He is getting better by the day.
He does Winter Olympics. He does.
Yeah, he does it
Summer
all.
Olympics. He does.
Are you guys excited for the Olympics?
Yeah.
Do you watch the Olympics?
Absolutely.
100%. I told you all the time. Track's my favorite sport. Track and baseball. So I used to love the Olympics for summer, and then I got into swimming.
Yeah.
My mom loved the figure skating. Diving is always fun. So, volleyball because of Kerry Walsh and Misty May back in the day. But watch it all, man. I love archery. I like the one where they're doing the
Summer
the
Olympics
rafting.
to me are way better than Winter Olympics.
I don't watch those anymore.
Oh, the winter's great too.
What don't?
I watched. No, I'm talking about the Winter Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm now a highlight guy for the Winter Olympics. I used to what was it, Lillehammer '94? Yeah. I was dialed in. Now, Summer Olympics, like you said, so many sports is more, it's bigger. Now the stars from everything are also a part of the Olympics. Whether it's basketball, whether it's tennis, whether it's golf, they giving you everything that you want in the sports option.
The one thing about the Olympics, aside from the fact that I'm not an Olympic guy, I'm a team sport person. The swimming and the gymnastics, it's all great, right? I mean, if there's like a Michael Phelps type situation, if there's a Simone Biles type situation,
she'll be back
because of the pop culture aspects of their household names. Everybody is
the whole propaganda.
Right.
Yeah.
So you watch, and now my daughter's into figure skate. Well, I guess that's Winter Olympics, so I don't have to worry about that. But
basketball.
The thing about the Olympics that I loathe, is that you rarely see it live.
Right.
I think that sports, more so than any other sports and news, are two aspects of life that just have to be live.
Yeah.
And so if something happened at 1 p.m. and you're telling me you're not going to show it until 8 p.m. in prime time, I have no use for it. I know what happened.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. I got no use for it.
Agreed.
It's 2024. Let people DVR their stuff.
Yeah.
Air it live. Let them watch it when they want. It's a bottom line.
I get that. I get that.
Or have one of those channels purely dedicated to
live.
Dedicated to, what you want to play. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In what order? Pick your sport.
You will get that eventually.
Yeah.
You know that. You're going to get that eventually.
Pick your sport. This is the lineup for
today. You don't want
today.
to watch badminton?
But they use, and that's what I love about track. They usually get always right track times for track. When they have the 100-meter finals, 200-meter finals, 4x4, etc., those races you want to watch, those night times line up wherever you're at. I remember watching live in Seattle. I think I was when they were in France or London. They always get it right with track.
I think isn't LA getting an Olympics?
Yeah, I don't know.
2028.
I think US is getting the next Olympics.
Yeah,
somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe they will.
Chicago or LA?
It might be both cities.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't paid too close of attention to it. And also, part of the Olympics, too, and I just forgot my train of thought, so no big deal.
Was it boxing? Because I wanted to ask Braylon before he left about the heavyweight championship fight that I didn't know was going on.
Didn't even know it was on.
I had no freaking idea that there was a heavyweight championship fight. I never heard about it. What time was it on?
I came on at night.
2 in the afternoon?
One of those London, was the Wembley Stadium that he likes to fight in, 4 o'clock of the fights. Look, boxing is just a disappointment.
Just
right
unbelievable
now, and it will
to me.
Every time you try to have a little faith in boxing, whether it's Canelo, now Canelo's ducking Benavidez, Tyson Fury, he ducked everybody forever. Now he fought Usyk and got knocked out. Terrence Crawford, Canelo fight, Terrence Crawford, Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, insert guy here. It's so many different promoters. So now you got to get through a promoter and your promoter another. It's just so much going on in boxing. It is disappointing. That's why UFC came in the middle of the night and took the title from boxing, and that's what makes all the money now. Boxing, it's a dead sport. Once it was over with the heavyweights and then Floyd.
So Tyson Fury lost a split decision to Alexander
Usyk.
Him
right too.
How do you say his name?
Usyk.
I think it's Usyk. Alexander Usyk. He doesn't speak English, but he's won all the belts. And he won a split decision over Tyson Fury. They've automatically, they've got the rematch already set up. It'll probably happen towards the end of this year.
Now, can Mike Tyson beat this guy or no?
Yeah, back in his heyday, he's not a boxer like that. But in this day, he's a real boxer. He knows how to box. He's not a Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, one-trick pony, or he's coming there with some BS.
Dang.
This guy can literally fight. Anthony Joshua had to find out the hard way, knocked him out and got the original belts, and now he knocked out Tyson Fury. So at the end
I
of the
wish
day,
I would have known about this.
He's a real boxer, and real boxers still can. It's like Jalen Brunson. Real basketball players can still have an effect on the NBA.
Guys, we want to get to a couple of Lions notes coming up, but first, a message from us here at WSN.
That's right, everybody. Head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and load up on some of the best Detroit sports wearables, including all the hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. You can get that 775,000 NFL Detroit Draft Day t-shirt or the new golf quarter pullover. So head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and load on up. Hey, Maz. Premier Pet Time, my friend.
You got it, my man. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. PremierPetSupply.com. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store. They've got 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and they have curbside delivery if you need it. Nutritionists on call anytime you have a question about your pet's needs. Give your pet the best. Don't settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Home of the crispy chicken and pizza, Soroki's is the place to go, especially now that the Nashville Hot is back for a limited time only. The pizza, the chicken tenders, the fries, and the chicken sandwich. I gotta warn you, it is spicy, so if it's too much for you, just kick back on some of the crispy chicken and the pizza because it is fire as well. No pun intended. Try Soroki's now.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway. We got Pete Spivak. We got Mike in the house as well. Guys, I wanted to play this for you. This is from Rick Spielman. He was on, where did we get? He was on Sirius XM radio. And had this, and we talk about this quite a bit.
Former GM.
Absolutely. Former GM of the Minnesota Vikings, and of course Braylon's pro day quarterback, Rick Spielman.
And the brother of Chris.
I was going to the Dolphins.
Brother of Chris Spielman. So, I mean, you have to take that into account, I think, when the glowing positiveness of Detroit's front office. But I do think this is appropriate because I think this is absolutely accurate. But here's what Rick Spielman has to say about how the Lions signing their big 3 players, Goff, Sewell, Amon-Ra, plays about the league.
The way that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have drafted and the guys, I mean, this was a trade golf, but the other two were draft picks. And that's one thing you try it as a general manager to always pride yourself on is drafting well and giving those guys the extensions, because that goes a long way down in that locker room. So if guys come in and we hit on the draft, you know them better than anyone else, and you reward them with contract extensions when they come in and perform like the way they do. This one is interesting, though, because this was one man's trash and another man's treasure, if that could be the best way to put this in. And last year, Stafford came back in the playoffs to play against a guy that they kicked to the curb in golf and traded away. Detroit won that 24-23. And this, even with this contract extension getting done, and I think it even puts more of an emphasis on that opener when LA comes to Detroit on a Sunday night.
Yeah, besides the fact that he drafted Ronnie Brown and not me, I would have to agree with most of his assessment. Look, we talk about this on the show. We talked exactly about this thing. When you tell people, look, you come here, you ball out, you do a thing, we'll pay you, we'll take care of you. When we're that type of franchise, what we say, we actually put stock in. You know, we're going to be real to you. When you do that, you create that community, you create that culture where guys now want to run through the wall. Now the next guy wants to, oh, this is real. Now Aiden wants to put out. Now Brian Branch wants to ball out. This is how you build the culture. They built it the right way. Rick Spielman, he understands that. He's watching Jared Goff in the situation. That's what he was talking about. Jared Goff gets paid. Now he's a guy that's going to play with more passion for this team. We talked about it. The reason why this won't be a situation where guys get paid and then guys fall by the wayside is because they came in the same time. They knew what this franchise was. They knew what they were in the position that they were in before they were with this franchise, and they worked at it together. You see it from 2021 to 2023. They're a much different team, but it all starts with those guys that they put in as those pillars, those key pieces. Penei Sewell, you draft. Amon-Ra, you draft. You bring in Jared Goff, and you give him faith. You give him trust. You give him confidence, and obviously the big fella too. So they've done it the right way, and this is what people are seeing around the league. They're building a model that people need to follow.
There was another part of that interview where he goes into the Lions signing their big three and how it plays in the locker room and how it plays in the NFL, because they take care of their own players. And you heard him, how they took care of Goff when he was one man's treasure, another man's garbage, trash. They bring him over here, but it really was Brad Holmes' guy from day one, from back in his Rams days. I know he wasn't the main guy there, Les Snead was, but he was a guy that scouted Goff and made him the number one pick. And for him to sign, for the Lions to sign those three guys, it just tells all the other teams in the NFL, you come here, we're going to take care of you. You're going to tell all those rookies that are playing in Alabama and Georgia and Michigan and so on and so forth, man, I want to get drafted by the Detroit Lions. Not only do they look good on the field now with these new uniforms, and, you know, they were 2 minutes away from being in a Super Bowl, they're a real NFL team, and they take care of their own.
Not only that, but what it says to the guys that are already on the team, Maz, what it says to the guys that were drafted this year, guys that were drafted this last year, guys that haven't necessarily cracked the code yet. It tells them,
work hard.
They're running out of money. They can't pay everybody. Somebody's not going to be here next season. Somebody's not going to be here the season after that. So I got to make sure I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing in the offseason. I got to make sure I'm getting up on my film, working with coach, the technique that we're working. Things that I didn't do well last year, need to get better at that, because guess what? You may be you're not pillar. You may be a good player for the Lions this season, but now because of that money, now because of how great this team is, you may not be here next year. Whether we love you here or not, you may not be here.
So all this to say that on the heels of this conversation about the Lions and what it says to the rest of the league and what it says to the players and what it says to the locker room, how about this? Pro Football Focus today put out a list of the top 25 players in the NFL under the age of 25. The Lions have 5 players on this list.
Nice.
5 of the 25 players are members of the Detroit Lions, including the best player, number 1 on this list, Penei Sewell.
Wow.
It says although Sewell has already played 3 seasons in the NFL, he's still only 23 years old and will not turn 24 until October. His 3,359 regular season snaps over the past 3 years ranks second among all players. He is on his way to becoming the best offensive lineman in the league. Penei Sewell, building block, NFL.
Very reminiscent of Bruce Matthews, and I say that. You remember him being the Iron Man with the Houston Oilers and how many games he played consistently over 23 years. That's what you're seeing in a young Penei Sewell. Look, we go back and forth about the fun old comment about Penei Sewell, Micah Parsons, Penei Sewell. More and more you see what he's doing, what he's becoming, what his energy is, what his effort is. This may be a situation where, Maz, we may have been wrong about that.
Oh, God, yeah.
Like, we may have been wrong about that. It may be time for me to come around and say Penei Sewell, in terms of the longevity of it, was a better overall pick. Hindsight is 2020. But 21 players, you got 5. 20% of the players on the list are Detroit Lions. Let that sink in. For someone that doesn't know what he's talking about 2 years ago in Brad Holmes. Like, that's how you win in this league. There are only 3 other teams that had 2, Maz.
Yeah.
2 players on this list. 3 other teams have it. So
awesome.
they have 5. And they have them in the positions where I want to say they were 1, 5, 9, 12, and then the other was 17 or so.
Well, I'll go through it. Sauce Gardner, number 2. Trevor Lawrence, number 3. Jamar Chase, number 4. Kyle Hamilton, number 5. At 6, Aiden Hutchinson.
Nice.
So you've got 1, you've got 6. Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson flashed potential in his rookie season in 22, brought his game to a whole new level in 23. His 91.2 PFF pass rush grade placed 5th and trailed only Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa, and TJ Watt. Pretty darn good group to be involved with.
First thing I thought about when you said that, look who's 1 in front of him. Same draft class. Remember, also projected to go to the Lions at some point. Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton. And he's 1 above 8.
He really is something.
Yeah, that was Easy's guy.
We were scared of him.
And honestly,
because he was a slow safety.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, if I tell you now, some years later, you could have Hutchinson and Brian Branch, who did not make the list.
Right.
Would you take that? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Because Brian Branch is not on this list, and he easily could be on this list as far as I'm concerned.
A little more work. Yeah, a little more work.
C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Garrett Wilson, Trent McDuffie from the Chiefs. And then at 11, who do you think it is?
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown will turn 25 during the 2024 season. Proved in 23 that his breakout 22 campaign was not a fluke. One of just 3 wide receivers to earn overall grades of 90 in both 22 and 23. Tyreek Hill and Justin Jefferson were the other 2.
Can I make a statement? I think the league is still underrating C.J. Stroud. Like, C.J. Stroud, when in its entirety is looked at, had a season that's arguably the greatest rookie season ever. You look at the stats, you look at the numbers, he got a home playoff.
But he's a rookie. Maybe that's why he's as low.
Okay.
The other guy's got 2 years.
Okay, I
right?
give you that.
2-3 years.
Because I'm like, do I want CJ? Like, if I'm looking at this list of what players I want, probably taking CJ Stroud number 1 because he's a quarterback.
Well, forget about the rankings. Just look at the positional rankings. They've got Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud. Trevor Lawrence, number 3 on this list. Stroud, number 7. But
they're still
but
scared
nonetheless, if I'm starting a team right now,
quarterback,
C.J. Stroud, I'm picking over Trevor Lawrence.
100.
That's me.
Me too. Now, me too. Now,
right. So
I'd be interested in year number 2, but he is in good shape to really become one of the best.
And now he's got Stephon Diggs.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's set up.
So for time, so Sewell 1, Hutchinson 6, Amon-Ra 11. Then at number 19,
Sam
Laporta. That's right, Braylon Edwards. Sam Laporta, multiple first-round tight ends, have faced high expectations in recent years. Laporta, a second-round pick last year, was not one of them, but he arguably outplayed all rookie tight ends over the past decade.
That was the
past decade. His 981 regular season snaps as a rookie led all tight ends over the past 6 seasons by a significant margin. In addition, his overall and receiving grades are second only to Kyle Pitts' rookie season,
who had 1,000 yards. Yeah, that's high praise. That's high praise. The only thing you start to wonder about is the usage rate. You start to hear numbers about the catches, the snaps, the plays, and things in there. He's a big tight end. He does take some hits in there. You may want to calm the usage rate down a little bit.
He escaped a bad injury, too. He and us, we lucked out big time.
We thank Iowa strength and conditioning coach because that's exactly why he didn't get hurt on that play.
How about that?
Kyle Pitts, by the way, 25 on this list. First round pick, number 4 overall. Laporta, a second round selection.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Number 21 on this list, he is the 5th Lion mentioned, Jahmyr Gibbs. While he had a limited role initially, Gibbs got more and more playing time as 23 season wore on, became an electric playmaker for the Lions. And in the second half of his campaign, following week 7 after his return from injury, earned a 78.0 PFF overall grade, which ranked 11th among running backs. And his 82 rushing grade tied for 7th at the position. So Jahmyr Gibbs, 21. Sewell at 1, Hutchinson at 6, Amon-Ra at 11, Laporta at 19, Gibbs at 21.
Matt Broder on the chat wanted me to ask you, Bray. Do you agree Garrett Wilson over Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No, I would absolutely not do that.
Just who's a better player. That's what he's asking, not what I take. And Garrett Wilson, look, I'm not hating on Amon-Ra St. Brown. I hate when this happens because whenever I pick anybody over your beloved Detroit Lions, I'm all of a sudden a hater. But I just think with Garrett Wilson is the potential that he has, and he's already flashed it. He got 1,100 yards, and he was playing with Zach Wilson at quarterback on top of 7 touchdowns. So I just think once he gets a chance, you're going to see how good this guy is, pretty soon. But once again, Amon-Ra St. Brown is special. Deserves all the money. You gotta have no problem with that. He's a stud.
I would have to. I'm not going to disagree with you on the talent aspect. I just don't know because of what Amon-Ra St. Brown has done over multiple seasons.
Yeah,
it has not been a 1-year flash in the pan at all. I would absolutely take Amon-Ra over Garrett Wilson now. Over the next 2 years, if Garrett Wilson with Aaron Rodgers does a lot of interesting stuff, I think you can revisit it. But right now, at this point, specifically with what he's done over multiple seasons now, I think it's a clear answer, Amon-Ra. Just my opinion.
I'm not mad at that, but you look at Ben Johnson's offensive coordinator. He's been electric since he's been there. This is he just finished his second season. Got Jared Goff as quarterback. He got the best offensive line in football. Amon-Ra has a lot of weapons that played to his favor. Garrett Wilson got 1,100 yards 2 years in a row, 4 touchdowns. Do you even know the quarterbacks' names that he played for? So I look at it
by himself.
You put Garrett Wilson in a system like that, that dude's electric.
I'm going to pick him in my fantasy draft this year. I can
smart
tell you that.
dude. I'm picking Amon-Ra in mine.
Yeah. I always take Saint. I make sure I get Saint.
Oh, man, that's great stuff. Yeah. Again, the one player that's not mentioned, if you look at the Lions, is Brian Branch. I think they easily could have had 6 players on this list. Right. At 22, by the way, I wanted to mention this. Gibbs was at 21. At 22, Jalen Carter.
Oh, wow.
So
and we didn't hear much about him, really.
Gibbs ranked higher than the guy that everybody wanted here. And if you had to do it all over again, let me ask you guys.
Good point.
If you guys had to do it all over again, knowing
right now,
with what you know now, would you still want would you still want Jalen Carter over Gibbs?
He would.
Yes, I'm still taking Jalen Carter over Gibbs. The whole team was hurt last year. Jahmyr Gibbs was in the best situation, the best fit for him, alongside Dave Montgomery. Once again, Ben Johnson in the system. So I still would take Jalen Carter. He's also a defensive interior dynamo, which means you're going to get him for 8 to 12 years at a high level. Running backs, what are we dispensing them after 5? I'm still taking Jalen Carter.
That's a toughie, man. I'm a huge Jahmyr Gibbs guy, but
I'm just taking my love out of it.
Yeah, if I take my love out of it as well, Carter should be there for a long, long time, man. Yeah. He's only going to get better and better, right? Don't you think?
I would say Gibbs, man. I think this guy's as dynamic as they come. And because it's such an offensive league now, you need a guy like him. I mean, he's a murderer. He can just murder you, just kill your defense, and used in so many different ways. Catch the ball, get a handoff, line up at wide receiver.
He made one mistake last year, and it happened to be in the biggest game of his career.
What was it? I don't even remember.
He fumbled against the Niners.
Oh, yeah. I didn't
he lined up on the wrong side.
Yeah, it was a bad. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
It was a bad play from the get-go.
Yeah.
His only mistake as a rookie was
he's-
in the biggest moment, unfortunately.
He's a lot of people's favorite running back. I'm not talking about just.
I love him.
He's a lot of people's
I
favorite
love him.
number one running back. So.
All right, guys, go around the NFL. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm.
When you see that black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. And that technology has been proven to work, and those people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey, gang, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway. Braylon, it's his dad's birthday today, so he's got something planned for Big Stan, and we absolutely wish Stan Edwards a very happy birthday today. 65 years old, Stan Edwards. You know, one of the things I told Braylon earlier, like, especially for guys that were 4 years in college, right? You know exactly how old they are. Because, okay, if you're 22 and 17. Exactly. You know, you can't hide your age, right?
You can't.
No, if you were 22 in 03, you know what I mean? It's so funny.
It's out of our hands right now, right? The age group, the age, you just lose track of everything, man.
Well, now it's hard to do that with athletes, especially in college, because you don't know if they're leaving college at 25, 26.
Yep, you don't know if they got those COVID years.
Right.
Yep.
The COVID years, you don't know if they're 19 or 20. You have no idea, but good stuff. So Braylon going to attend a birthday celebration with Stan Edwards. So he ducked out a little early. Tom Mazaway and I will take you the rest of the way. Maz, we will go through the NFL, including some big news with perhaps one of the Lions' key members of the front office leaving.
Another guy. They just keep picking away at us little by little. The NFL's like, how do you build a team? Well, let's look at the way the Lions build a team. Well, they went after a guy that used to run part of one of their divisions. They're hiring Senior Director of Football Operations, Brandon Sosna. Now, he was here with the Lions. Before he was with the Lions, he spent 3 years at USC, and he's kind of the contract guy. So Washington dipping in and getting this guy now.
Couple of points about this. Number one, how at 31 are you involved in the contracts for these players?
Yeah.
Now, like, what did I do wrong along the way?
Yeah, I've done everything wrong. I've taken every wrong road possible to get me right here. And this guy has already had a career. He's already had a career. Never mind USC with the Lions, and now he's going to be a bigwig with the Washington Commanders.
Like at 31, it's not like he just started this.
Yes.
So that means somewhere in his 20s, he had to get in a position to do this job. And I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Either way.
Ain't it something?
And it's part of having such a great organization. And that's how the Lions are viewed now.
They are.
You know, when the Patriots didn't have people that got hired away from the Patriots, nobody really had any real success anywhere. But when there was an opening around the league, whether it was front office, coaching staff, secretary, medical, whatever the case may be, where did you go first? You were knocking on New England's door.
Yep.
And I think that is where
Before that, back in the day, San Francisco
49ers and Dallas and, you know.
Yes, Green Bay.
Right, exactly. Green Bay, Elliott Wolf and Mike Holmgren.
At one time, the Washington Redskins back then, their staff, they're all coaching in the NFL now.
Right. Yeah, there's no doubt. And that's Kyle Shanahan.
Yep.
That's LaFleur.
Sean
McVay. But again, that is part of having a great organization, and that's exactly how the Lions are viewed right now. They're not only a great team, they're not only a Super Bowl contending team, they have an organization that is as revered as any in the National Football League, from owner on down. And when you have that, you have other teams that are going to knock at your door. And when you have that, you're going to have employees within your organization that are going to go seek employment elsewhere to, you know, make their own imprint, to get bigger jobs, to get promotions, to get more money. That's just how it works. And if you want to be a lasting organization, if you want to have lasting greatness, you have to continue to reload. Look at Nick Saban's coaching staff, and I'm just using that as an example. Nick Saban had new coordinators almost every year. Nick Saban had new position coaches almost every year because those position coaches would get coordinator jobs somewhere. Those coordinators would get head coaching jobs elsewhere, and the cycle just continued.
Did you see Aubrey Pleasant? He used to be here. Remember a couple of years ago when the Lions first had Dan Campbell?
Yeah, he was their first fire.
Yeah,
really.
he was the scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
But he is gone, and I'm trying to remember where he went.
Is he Miami?
No, maybe Washington.
I don't remember.
San Francisco. Anyway, he's all the way up to like an assistant head coach's position now. He reinvented himself. He's with the Rams.
Okay.
He's with the Rams. So Aubrey Pleasant really doing well after leaving here.
5th season with the Los Angeles Rams, actually.
Isn't that something?
It's wild. That is wild.
5th season?
Yeah. Aubrey Pleasant enters his 5th season with the LA Rams after serving as defensive backs coach and pass game coordinator for the Detroit Lions.
And he was the first firing.
Well, no, it can't be. That's what it said. Aubrey Pleasant enters his 5th season with the LA
wrong.
Rams.
That's got to be wrong.
Got to be wrong. That's on the Rams website.
It's got to be the 3rd year.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why I brought him up, but he stuck in my head this weekend because I read something, and I'm like, wow, he's really moving up the chain.
Assistant head coach. Assistant head coach.
Well, good for him.
I mean, he was got fired in 22, was brought on by Green Bay in 22, and then in 23, last year, got hired. So this is his second year in LA. I don't know why that says 5th year, but it does.
They need a new PR.
They need a new autobiography guy.
Their internships. They need
new interns.
James or Joel could get over there and get that thing straight.
Right.
No question about it. Hey, get ready, guys, for another streaming service. Yes, you heard me right. And this one's a big one. It's going to be called Venue. And look at the team that is teaming up for this one, right?
Yeah, this is a big deal. This is ESPN Fox and Warner Brothers, and this is sports. So if something is on ESPN Plus, essentially, or Fox Sports, or HBO Max, or any Warner Brothers entity, it will be included in Venue Sports. Now, we don't know the cost. We don't know any of this, but it will be bundled together. And I think this is great. I think if you can get a couple of these services to get together, it will make it a much more enjoyable experience for the consumer, because I will tell you, as a consumer, you don't want to just keep hopping in and hopping out. It's so hard to change the channel.
Do you even know what you have?
Yes, I do actually, because
you do?
I do. Because
you went back and looked to see what you're paying for?
Yes, I do. I do it twice a year, actually.
So what do you have?
I have everything. But I have it because, I have to be prepared for the job.
Of course. No, I have mostly everything
right
as well.
Yeah.
But a Venue can give me 3 of them put together, and I think Netflix is coming up with something that they're going to be partnering with someone. With Hulu? No, Hulu is tough. It's just, I don't even know what I pay for anymore. And I've got to look.
It's definitely over $100 a month in subscriptions, and that includes like Freep, right?
Yeah, I pay for the Freep.
Right, pay for the Freep, pay for the news.
I pay for the Athletic.
I
don't know why I do, but I throw them.
I pay for like the Wall Street Journal.
That I don't.
But for my other job, I need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a bunch of different subscriptions.
And you still don't have Bally's.
And I still can't watch the Tigers.
Now, my mother-in-law is in the same spot as you.
Mm.
And yesterday she's over, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, Mom, do you want me to come over and download the Bally's app for you? Because I talked her into going to Xfinity because of the use
of the remote. The
there's
voice remote
like
is
it.
There's nothing.
Xfinity has the best service, the best equipment, no question about it. So
it's not
she's
even
like,
close.
Yeah, so she's like, I haven't missed them yet. That's what she said to me. I haven't missed them enough for you to come over and me spend $20 a month. For me to slap it on her
Isn't that what
TV.
I say?
That's what you said. And this is an 81-year-old woman.
Yeah. I'm very used to not watching Tigers baseball. Almost a little too used to it.
Now, tonight, will you tune into Fox Sports 1?
Absolutely. I'll watch that, but then I'm also excited about the hockey game at 9.
It starts late.
Right. The hockey game starts at 9, so I'll have a little baseball.
Make that game. You can't finish that game.
Well, I'm hoping the manager of the Oilers.
Come on, Oilers.
Right.
We'll talk about that in just a bit.
Yep.
All right, let me move on. It's been a rough week for the Kansas City Chiefs last week. Let me put up their timeline. What happened to the Kansas City Chiefs last week?
Let me read this for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Rashee Rice was arrested and now faces 8 felonies. A couple of weeks after he allegedly punched a photographer, Harrison Butker gave one of the most controversial speeches in recent memory. First round, these are not my words. I'm reading a tweet. First round wide receiver Xavier Worthy gets car stolen as soon as he moves into Kansas City.
Same night.
And 2 of the team's offensive linemen get arrested for marijuana possession. Yep. Who's getting arrested for marijuana possession, by the way, these days?
Well, I guess in that town, you're going to get arrested.
What a week for the Kansas City Chiefs. By the way, our mini camp, I believe Rashee Rice did show up today and is going through workouts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
A lot of mini camps opened up today.
Yeah. 8 felonies.
What happened to that
He will
kid?
face a major suspension, I feel
He will.
like.
And they'll still keep him.
Yeah, and they'll still win 13 games.
And they'll still keep him. Last week, you weren't here on Friday for the Harrison Butker talk. And I want to bring it up to you. I know you guys talked about it on the 9 on Fox. I only played the part where he spoke of women. And you probably heard the whole 22 minutes.
Or the whole 17 minutes.
The whole 17 minutes. What's your take on the entire Harrison Butker soliloquy?
It's very simple. I couldn't care less. Everybody's got an opinion about something. You know what I mean? Do I have to agree with everything that he says? No. Do I have to disagree with everything he says? No. Do I care about anything he says? No. It just it makes no difference to me what Harrison Butker thinks at all. Have your beliefs. It's a free country. You were an invited guest at a very conservative Catholic school. I believe he got a standing ovation at that.
He did.
I couldn't care less. Kick the football through the uprights.
And he does.
And that is why I don't want sports stars personally sharing their thoughts about anything. Right, wrong, or indifferent.
Right.
If you ask me how I feel about it, I don't know. I don't want to know what anybody thinks about anything. I just want to be able to enjoy the game.
I'm with you.
And if that's an old, antiquated take, and I'm just, my life is hard enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I watch sports as an escape. And I'm not saying my life is, I have a very easy life, knock on wood. I'm just saying
it's hard to be a parent of young kids. It's hard.
Well,
it's hard to be a husband.
At the end of the night, after a long day's work, I'm just saying for people in general, after a long day's work, you come home, your wife hates you.
Yeah.
Your kids hate you. Your boss hates you. Your life kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Okay? You just want to turn on the Tigers. Oh, can't do that anymore. You want to turn on the sports and just kind of remove yourself.
Veg out. What do you think I stay in my little 70s and 80s bubble for? 60s, 70s, 80s. I still watch all these old shows.
Right.
I refuse. I refuse to break out of my bubble.
Well, there are sports stars, there are actors and actresses who give views that are so far left. You've got people that give views so far right. Have your beliefs. Just entertain me. You know what I mean? Kick the ball through the uprights.
And he does.
I couldn't care less.
Have you been following this Marvin Harrison versus Fanatics?
No, I haven't, but you have intrigued me somewhat about this.
Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously the number one pick of the Arizona Cardinals, picked fourth overall, has not supposedly allowed Fanatics in the NFL to start selling his jersey yet. Fanatics is saying, we've already paid this guy in six figures already. He is saying, I signed nothing, and I'm not ready to give. I don't know what his end game is, because he's the only one, but he's fighting with Fanatics right now. And Fanatics runs everything as far as jerseys go.
Can't they just sell the jersey?
No.
They can't prove.
No, they need his permission.
But they cannot prove payment to him?
I don't know. I don't know.
If you can prove payment to him.
Fanatics filed a lawsuit against him.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, if they paid him for something, and I'm sure they have a paper trail to that, they could ultimately win.
They said they have his autograph on a piece of paper, but he is holding steadfast. And I really don't know what his end game is. Does he want to sell his own stuff? I have no idea.
I don't know.
But you cannot buy a Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey unless it's in the black market.
That is interesting, because I would believe that if they have a signed contract, if they paid him six figures, why wouldn't they just put his jersey on the store shelves?
You got me, man.
That is interesting. I'd start there and let them sue you.
Eventually it will. Eventually it's going to happen.
Right?
Eventually it's going to happen.
Let him sue you.
All right, let's move.
See.
Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland.
They call this the Cleveland Browns new helmet. So I want you to look at the Cleveland Browns new helmet. It kind of looks the same to me, but it is good looking. And it has the visor there. You see that orange visor, white face mask? It isn't a bad looking helmet, really, when you look at it.
What's new about it?
I don't know, but they're calling it the new Cleveland Browns.
Are the stripes a little?
Maybe the stripes are thicker.
A little thicker?
Maybe the stripes are thicker. I like it. It looks great. It doesn't have a logo, but that's the Browns for
I think it's clean. I like
classic.
it. I think it's clean. I like it.
If Braylon was here, he would disagree with us.
He's got what do you call it? Whiplash.
Yeah, he's got
PTSD from being in Cleveland.
He's got PTSD.
He's got PTSD from being in Cleveland. I would too. So, good stuff. All right, Tom Mazaway, thank you, guys. We're gonna take a break. Tigers in Royals tonight. We've got Game 7 of the Stanley Cup semifinal. The Oilers and the Canucks, and a major player missing for the Canucks tonight. We'll talk about that.
And a little golf.
Absolutely. Oh, Scotty. But first, a message from Wake Up Woodward.
That's right, everybody. Every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. mornings right here on Woodward Sports Network. You can check out Wake Up Woodward. Isn't that right, James? Yes. And turn James back there, as you guys can see. There he is, right there. There he is. Anyway, so check out Wake Up Woodward every Monday through Friday morning, 8 to 10 a.m.s with your hosts, Matt Broder, Sam Flannel, Kool-Aid, JB, and Kenny G. Again, every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. mornings right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. We'll be right back.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
What's up, everybody? Neil Rule, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, home of the Planet Fitness Studios. Let me tell you a little personal story about myself with Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness helped me change my life, and it can do the same for you. The best gym in the gym game. The clean facilities, tons of cardio equipment, tons of weights as well. And look, through all the price increases, inflation, all that, hasn't happened at Planet Fitness. Still $1 down, $10 per month, $24.99 a month for the Black Card as well. It's Planet Fitness, everybody, where your fitness is essential.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Hey, guys, couple of things over the weekend. First and foremost, Xander Schauffele won his first major of his career, won the PGA Championship, had a 6-footer for the win.
I even watched the last 2 holes.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I didn't. Once Scotty Scheffler was out of it, I really didn't watch it. And the only reason I watched Scotty Scheffler was because he got arrested.
I like him even more than I've ever liked him before.
I have never thought as much about Scotty Scheffler as I do now. And it is purely because he got arrested.
And did you hear him talking? Yeah, I was stretching. I was getting ready for my round in jail.
Yeah.
I was stretching. He is quietly a funny dude.
And, you know, he came back, shot 5 under on Friday, had a chance, gave it back on Saturday, just couldn't get it together. But I think this was great for golf.
It totally was.
It kind of changes the way you view Scotty Scheffler a little bit. As, you know, he's this like deeply Christian, good guy, no problems kind of fellow without much of a personality. I think you saw a little bit more to Scotty Scheffler this week than ever before. I think it's great for golf.
It was. And from what I understand, the place they played at in Kentucky. What was the name of the links there? I remember Jim Nance saying
Valhalla.
Valhalla. Great name.
Mm-hmm.
Great name. The course was set up like the old Buick Open in up in Grand Blanc. You remember that?
Yeah.
When they'd shoot 30 under?
Yeah.
I mean, you win with 21 under par. 20 under is right there, Bryson DeChambeau. Right on his tail, waiting for him to see if they were going to have a playoff. Schauffele put a birdie in, and that was the end of it. But I heard on the way in, Doug and Gator were talking about it, and they said this was the combined score was like a minus 130 combined.
Wow.
The major that came in second to that, guess what the score was on that for highest score?
What?
It was plus 40 back in 1995. Plus 40 was a combined major, all the scores. This one was like minus 100 and something.
It's insane.
So the course was set up. It was not like a major course.
And the equipment, though, is so much better. The guys are so much stronger. I mean, you got to think back in the day, like let's say in Jack's era, okay? Even let's just say before Tiger's era. Okay, think about like Payne Stewart and some of these, the late great Payne Stewart. But think about those players, and I'm not saying they're hitting like wood clubs because the equipment was a little bit more advanced, but not much back before Tiger's era. But these guys weren't doing any weight training. These guys were like a bunch of John Daly's out there drinking and smoking.
You're not kidding.
You Lee Trevino out there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like Lee Trevino is banging the iron. You know what I mean? He's not pounding iron. He's sitting there. He's having a cocktail. He's having a smoke.
He's
eating
smoking
a
on the
cheese
course.
dog,
He's smoking on the course.
and he's hitting the ball. These guys are incredibly gifted athletes now, and that was never before. And that's what Tiger Woods did. Tiger Woods made golf, turned golf into a Lee Trevino type era to a Scotty Scheffler type era.
Yeah.
We're just look at Rory. You know what I mean? And I'm no fan of Rory McIlroy, but I mean, just look at his body.
How about him and his wife splitting up? No one thought that was ever happening.
Well, you hear the rumors.
What's the rumor? Did she sleep with another golfer?
No, the rumor is that he is, and I hate rumors.
I want to hear it anyway.
The CBS golf lady.
Oh.
Allison something.
Oh.
Because she miraculously is too going through a divorce at the same exact time.
Oh.
Yeah. Forgot her name is like Allison something. She was in like the Full Swing documentary. And
okay. I didn't see it, but I'm sure she's a very beautiful young lady.
Very beautiful young
very
lady.
Beautiful. But so is his wife.
That's the rumor.
So was Rory's wife, a beautiful lady.
Somebody's always sick of something.
I will tell you, Paige Spiranac is a very beautiful lady.
Oh, yeah. Good old Paige.
Paige could be number one, taking over big time.
Yeah. Hey, want to thank Dante151 for his generous donation in the Woodward Super Chat. Did you guys see what the Giants uniform for their 100-year celebration is? There's something with the helmet that reminds me of Michigan's helmet. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, LOL. But seriously, yes, that is the Michigan Wolverine
identical.
helmet.
I love it. A lot of people don't like the tan pants. That's what throws them off. And I know it's an ode to the 1920s. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. If you don't like it, remember Green Bay had something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And it looked bad. This one, I think, looks better than the old Green Bay one. They never wore these uniforms. That's the thing people are saying.
You know, those pants remind me of like the old St. Louis Rams. Those colors, the gold and was it dark blue?
It was dark blue and like a metallic gold.
Yeah.
Those are a little bit more like sand color.
Those look like the New York Ranger sweaters if they were like red.
Bro, they look like the Canadiens.
Right, Montreal Canadiens. That's right. That's what they look like.
They're going to wear them a couple of times this year. And they sent each season ticket holder a box with 4 Super Bowl rings, an old ticket from the old 1925 game, Giants against these Yellow Jackets, and they sent him a bunch of stuff. But like I said the other day on Friday, the New York Giants season ticket holders are paying out the you-know-what for those tickets, plus their personal seat licenses.
Yeah, right.
Which is, uncanny.
Unbelievable.
Uncanny.
What those seat licenses? So you pay the seat license.
It's yours. You own the seat.
For the right to buy
seats.
Okay.
Now, if you sell your tickets and someone makes a mockery of themselves in your seats, you're liable.
Really?
And you can lose those seats, even though you paid $15,000, $20,000 per ticket, per seat.
I mean, I know it's a money grab, but is that a way to kind of maybe tamp down on who you give those seats to, or they don't care?
It's just a money grab.
Just a money grab.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you just pray that the Lions never come up with that. What do they have, like 20,000 people now in line?
On the wait list. Yeah, they might.
Isn't that something?
Look, it's everything's supply and demand, right?
Your ticket's going to be worth pretty penny.
No, we'll go to the games.
Good move, man.
Yeah.
That was very nice of you.
Hey, Stanley Cup.
Take me to one of your games.
There you go, buddy. Stanley Cup Finals, the Stanley Cup Playoffs tonight. Game
great.
7. It's a 9:00 game. I know this is Western Canada.
I wish it was 8.
Can you start at 8? I do. It's the second round. It's not a conference final. It's not a Stanley Cup final. So I do appreciate the earlier start time. I mean, they could start that thing at 10 if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could.
So I do appreciate the 9:00 start time. Give guys like me at least a fighting chance.
Correct. It's on ESPN.
Yeah, it's on ESPN.
CBC, which I don't get now, at DirecTV.
Ooh,
that's a disappointment.
But
for me.
this isn't Don Cherry's CBC either. I mean, Ron McClain now sits at a desk with like 20 guys, like CNN.
True. You're right. You're right about that. But if I get a Kenny Albert doing a game, I can't. I can't do him.
He is the one guy that I have a hard time.
I can't stand
doing
him.
hockey.
And Marv Albert, I loved his dad. Never liked Marv doing football though.
Right.
Didn't like Marv doing football. Great hockey and basketball announcer.
Yeah.
Hands down. Kenny Albert, I can never stomach.
Remarkable.
Period. Me in my ear.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
No, I totally hear that, Tom Mazaway. But again, we're rooting for the manager of the Oilers tonight, Kenny Holland.
Go Oilers.
The Oilers are a favorite on the road tonight in Vancouver. Vancouver's top scorer, who has 7 goals this playoffs, is out. So, Oilers, a favorite on the road in Vancouver in Game 7. This is Ken Holland's 5th year with the team as the manager of the Oilers.
The winner against the Dallas Stars.
I know. And wouldn't that be something? Ken Holland and Jim Nill.
Yep. Old Red Wings.
Who's the manager of the Stars.
Yep, old Red Wings. Now, didn't Nill marry an Illich?
I do not know that answer.
I thought so. Well, maybe not him. Maybe it was Lights.
I do not know that.
Yeah.
You're talking about Jim Lights?
Yeah. I think maybe.
I don't know the marital prospects.
I'm probably messing that up.
No, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
I just don't know who anybody's married to. It's
That's okay.
Completely insignificant to me.
And we got the Tigers tonight starting a
Reese Olson is tonight the night
that he gets a win. Yesterday, a Saturday night, John Flaherty got his. Finally. Took him all that time. Jack Flaherty to get his first win. He's been one of the top guys, striking out players all year round. Tigers never get him any. The other day, they get him 12 runs.
Unbelievable.
Or 13, one of those numbers. And I'm in a 13-run pool, and I have the Tigers as my team.
What does that mean, a 13-run pool? What does that mean?
From 0 to 13. Your team, whoever you have, and you pick out of the hat, you've got to knock out every score. You need a 0, final score, a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm down to 9, 10, and 12. I need a 9, 10, and 12. The Royals need a 12. They're leading everybody. They just need a 12. And then
what does that mean? I don't get that. Say that one more time to me. I'm sorry.
What you score in a game.
Oh, okay.
So the Tigers got shut out, right?
Yep.
Take the 0 off the board.
Okay.
If they lost 2-1, take the 1 off the board.
Got it.
So
if they win 5-2, take the 5
take the 5 off the board. Whatever they score, you scratch that number out. And I'm down to 9, 10, and 12.
Now, which team do you have?
I got the Tigers.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. I got the Tigers.
Well, you'll be waiting a long time. They ain't scoring 12 runs.
Well, they scored 13 the other day. I don't know. It's fun.
All right. No,
it's just another
great.
pool. It's just another pool for me to throw my money in. Just something to get me going through the season.
Right.
So they get to play the Royals tonight, and then they come home for the Toronto Blue Jays. They get a 4-game set over the weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend,
Yeah,
man.
I know.
How the hell did that happen?
I know.
But it's like 85 degrees outside.
Well,
how the hell did that happen?
Summer has certainly started early, man. It is fantastic out there.
You know how we talk
Absolutely.
about baseball doesn't get it right?
Yeah.
They have a Sunday morning package.
I know, on Roku, right?
They're putting it on Roku. Really?
They
Roku?
just get everything wrong.
Everything. We talked about it.
Yep.
They start the season in Korea
At 3 in
2
the
weeks
morning.
before the regular season
Yeah.
starts.
With
And
their
now-
biggest star.
And now you're putting Sunday morning baseball
Right.
on. And guess what? The Tigers are one of the first games that they're going to have on.
Hey, any way to add the Tigers to my viewing lineup is a
You
good
need
day.
Roku.
And I do have Roku on like a couple of different TVs in my house.
Don't you have to own a Roku stick?
Yeah, but it's it's like $35.
Okay.
So it's $35 one time.
Right.
So I have Comcast on I have Comcast,
Yeah.
but I have the equipment on 2 TVs.
Right.
Every other TV that I have a Roku stick.
It's a
because
stream. Right.
Comcast is going to get you monthly.
And I
for
use
that
the
equipment.
Amazon Fire Stick.
Yeah.
So same crap.
Same thing. You'd be happy if baseball put it on the Amazon Fire Stick.
It would have been good.
It would have been better for you. Also, before we leave you today, congratulations to Jaden Mangum, Michigan State safety,
He escaped.
who is now out of East Lansing and in Ann Arbor. Former Michigan State safety Jaden Mangum is transferring to the University of Michigan. Now, every time
I've never seen anything like this.
Never seen anything
Ever.
like. Now, anytime Sharon Moore like tweets out like the two eyes looking like look out or whatever that emoji is with the smash, I just love it. So great.
Now, Joel already told me that the kid is not worth anything. Joel, of course, a Michigan State fan, Michigan State student. My daughter, Lily, told me yesterday, oh, yeah, we didn't like that kid anyway.
Right.
That's what she told me.
Right. He sucks now.
So he sucks.
Right. Well, not now. Right. Not now, he's saying he's going to suck too. All right, guys, going to get out of here. We'll try again tomorrow. For Braylon Edwards, happy birthday, Stan Edwards.
Yes, sir,
by the
Stan.
way. Absolutely. One of the greats in this state, Stan Edwards. Tom Mazaway, Pete Spivak, Silent Mike, intern Joel, intern James, Joel, James, Silent Mike, Pete. A lot of names over here I got to remember. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you
Woodward
guys.
Sports Network.